I'm Liz.
And I'm Jess.
And this is H, That's Dark.
Let's get into it.
Hello, one and all, and welcome back to H, That's Dark. How are we doing, Jess? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's been a great day. We've been shopping. It was payday.
True. Yeah, we got paid. So, like the responsible adults that we are, we went shopping. And also today is a very, very, very special day because we have a special guest with us. Say hi, Queenie.
She's loving things for you.
So we have Jess's cat in the room with us, and she is just the cutest little thing. And so if you hear the occasional meow, that is what it is.
Yeah, she's just reacting to the story.
Yeah, she's here to live react with us. So she will be just as shocked as you. But yeah, we had a great week, and the weather's nice.
Yeah, it is actually, but I think it's going down. The weather's going down next week.
I thought we were going to get a heat wave.
I think we're getting a cold front.
Great. Why are they so polarized? One is like a heat wave, and it's like it sounds so friendly, and there's like a cold front.
Heat wave. Anyway, so Wednesday is going down to 17 and 6, and there's a 30% chance of rain. And that's your weather update with Jess and Liz.
That was Jess, bringing you the weather. Back to Liz at the main desk. Fantastic. I did not know that. And I would love some rain, to be honest. I'm missing the rain.
And then it's going down on Friday as well.
Oh, heck yeah. And we might go to the movies on Friday. Like a big group of us. We're so excited.
Yeah. Also want to give our viewers, our listeners, a bit of a heads up that we're recording a lot of episodes today.
Yes.
So the next 4 episodes that you listen to might progressively get more unhinged as we go along.
Yes, but you know what? I think that's why most of you stay.
Yes.
You come for the story and you stay for the hosts. Am I right?
So fabulous.
Enough about us. So today we are starting a 2-parter on a case that honestly I've been circling for a while because it is the strangest, most South African true crime story we have ever covered on the show.
And that is saying a lot because that's what we do.
That's what we do. So it has everything. A church, a witch, a fake orphanage, a man who attended the news coverage of his own death, and 11 murder victims in a mining town west of Johannesburg. This is the story of the Krugersdorp murders.
I'm genuinely excited to hear this because I've heard about it. Like, I've heard of the Krugersdorp murders, but I've done zero research into it. So I literally only know the name and nothing else. So I'm very interested to hear what is actually going to happen. Yeah.
This case is wild. I remember watching the Huisgenoot true crime coverage of it called Devilsdorp, and we will be mentioning it and getting into that in more detail. But I was just shocked beyond belief that this actually occurred, like right in our backyard.
I feel like a lot of stuff happens in our own backyard. For the past few episodes, a lot of it you've been like, this happened in Joburg, and Quinn's trying to get to her food.
Oh, Quiddy. Okay, so if you hear a little bit of munching, that's a cat. So, which is going to be very honest. This episode is going to have zero editing.
It's like quite chilled.
Very chilled.
She's a good cat.
She's a very good
Because
cat.
we're recording so much, we're like, I can't leave her by my house alone. She'll be so lonely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, my cat is by himself, but you know, I will bring him one of these days.
You have to bring Jackson.
I will bring Jackson. He's going to be meowing a lot. But anyway, enough about our cats. So trigger warning before we start. This episode and the next one, but I will once again read the trigger warning. This episode deals with murder, including the murder of victims in their own homes, religious manipulation, claims of ritual abuse, and violence committed by a minor. We name and honor every victim, and as always, we don't linger on gratuitous detail. So if today's not the day for this one, that's okay. Come back when you're ready.
It sounds cultish.
Ooh, you just said the magic word.
Because I'm hearing religious manipulation. I'm hearing rituals. I'm hearing murder.
Murder.
As much as it's a terrible thing, I'm just like, cults in South Africa?
Yeah. but they're more, like, I would say, apparent than you would think. One more thing before we descend into the madness. Everything in this episode comes from the court record, the official National Prosecuting Authority statements, and reporting by journalists who sat through the entire trial, including Huisgenoot, whose coverage of this case became a story of its own.
I'm so intrigued with this. It sounds so good.
It is so good. But we'll get into that part in part 2. We'll do more of the Huisgenoot coverage of the story in part 2. Where something is an allegation or a claim rather than an established fact, I will say so.
Thank you.
It is a Thursday morning in October 2012 in a townhouse complex in Krugersdorp on Johannesburg's West Rand. A man gets up and makes his wife a cup of coffee. She's 25. They've been married for about 2 years. He brings it to her, and then he leaves for work. But here's the thing about that. He doesn't usually go into the office. He's making sure that today, of all days, plenty of people see him somewhere else.
Oh, he's establishing an alibi is what I hear.
I think you quoted me verbatim. So before he left, he handed a set of house keys and a gate remote to a friend of the family, a school teacher, a single mother, the kind of woman other parents trust with their children. Later that morning, the school teacher lets herself in. She has brought help, her daughter. Her daughter is 14 years old. And what the two of them do to the sleeping woman in that bedroom, I will tell you later in this episode because it belongs in its proper place in the story. For now, all you need to know is this. The young woman drinking that coffee, which had been laced with something else, believed every person involved in her death was family. Her husband, her church, her God-fearing friends. And every one of them believed, or said they believed, that they were doing the work of God.
You made me so anxious. I can't hear about stories where people come into someone else's house. It freaks me out so badly. Then you just cut it off right there, and I'm like,
we will get to it, but yeah, you are not gonna like this. So to understand how a school teacher and a 14-year-old girl end up in that bedroom, you have to understand the woman who sent them. And to understand her, you first have to understand something about this country. Because this story could only have happened in South Africa. And honestly, it could have only happened in a South Africa that had spent 30 years being told the devil was real, organized, and coming for its children.
I will say that South Africa has been a very religious country since it's...
Very, very religious. It was brought into the country.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Since I was like, what's the right word? But yeah, since it's been brought into the
Since its inception by Jan van Riebeeck. But no, it has been extremely religious, and it's been like... Superstitious, and it's been... How dare you?
I'm sorry.
That was a notification.
I'll turn it off.
Thank you. But before we get to Krugersdorp, let's talk about the satanic panic. Because South Africa also had a satanic panic, much like America did with the Manson murders.
You only really hear about the satanic panic in places like America and stuff. And there's so many stories about it. And now it's crazy to think that we have our own. It's crazy to think that we have so many of our own things, like
that
murderers, serial killers, and satanic panic, all this kind of stuff that we've heard about in other countries, but we've never heard about in our own country. And I'm like, but why though? Because our stories are genuinely just as frightening and interesting to hear about. So,
Right. Jess, I'm going to ask you this question. And I want you to look at me while I ask you. So how many organized, murderous, satanic cults do you think were operating in South Africa in the 1980s and 90s?
Can I read your show notes?
No. That's why I want you to look me in the eye when you guess that.
2.
The honest answer, as far as anyone has ever been able to prove, is somewhere around 0.
Okay. That was anticlimactic.
It was very anticlimactic. But if you'd ask the South African police at the time, you would have gotten a very different number. In the late 1980s, the world was in the grip of what we now call satanic panic. In America, it was daycare centers and Dungeons and Dragons. Parents were told there were secret networks of devil-worshipping, abusing children in rituals. Claims that case after case collapsed under investigation. And that panic traveled. It landed in South Africa in the final years of apartheid, and here it found the perfect host. A state that was explicitly built on conservative Christian nationalism. A white community that was watching its world change and looking for something to blame. And a media happy to print every rumor of black candles and blood oaths.
I just want to say, why do people still, and back then, but still sometimes, have such a stigma towards people who play stuff like Dungeons and Dragons? Like, that game is fun. Have you watched Stranger Things, people?
Have you watched Stranger Things?
It shows
Have you seen
that...
Critical Role? It's so much fun.
There's a great podcast called Dungeons and Daddies.
I have heard of it.
It's a great podcast.
Good.
They like
See?
I'm just like, it's actually, I've never played it, but I want to play it.
It is fun.
And there's nothing, I mean, I guess it's what you make it, but the actual game in itself, it's nothing to do with Satanism. I don't even know if that's a word.
No, it's literally, I think it's just people that are ignorant and unwilling to learn what it's about.
Yeah.
I think that's where most of these things come from.
Also, you can't blame stuff on
the devil.
That kind of... Okay, I was going to say, you can't blame stuff on like music and media and games.
Yeah.
Because even though, like, it doesn't make sense because the person makes their own decision.
That's the thing.
Like, music doesn't cause someone to murder someone.
Exactly.
You know, there has to be something significantly wrong with a person before.
It's kind of that nature versus nurture theory.
Yeah.
And it depends on how the person was brought up. So, but we can go
But also, you can't blame stuff on the devil either.
Exactly.
You can't say the devil made me do it. Sorry.
You can't.
But these people tried, I'm assuming.
Oh
no, they said it was God that made them do it.
Oh, girl.
I'm just saying stuff I don't know what I'm talking about. Tell me what's happening.
Hang on to your butt. But let's go back to Satanic Panic. Academics who've studied this period, specifically Nikki Falkhoff at WITS, has written a whole book on Satanism panic and family murder in the late apartheid South Africa, making the point that the devil scare wasn't really about the devil. It was about a society under existential stress. When the world feels like it's ending, Satan is a very convenient explanation. But here's where South Africa did something no other country did. Other countries had satanic panics and got over it, in a sense. We gave ours a police unit.
Oh.
In 1992, the South African police established the Occult-Related Crimes Unit, believed to be the only unit of its kind in the world. A dedicated, official, taxpayer-funded squad for investigating the devil.
That's crazy.
It was founded at the request of the then Minister of Law and Order, Adrian Flock, apartheid's own security minister, and it was headed by a born-again Christian detective named Kobus Jonker. You having fun there?
Couldn't find the little Velcro thing on your charger. She's playing with it.
No, Quinny. No.
But also,
j'accuse.
The fact that you said someone wrote a book about family murder in late apartheid South Africa makes me really be like, what do you mean there's so many family murders that happened that
late
is
apartheid
enough for a book? And that's just in one period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is crazy to me.
I mean, it would be a fantastic book to read.
I'm sure it would be.
In all honesty. I just made it worse. It's fine.
Because it's like, thank you for the toy.
Jonker is a genuinely fascinating figure. The press called him Donker Jonker, Dark Jonker, God's detective, and the Hound of God. So these are all really dope nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
He got into occult work after, in his own account, witnessing a satanic ritual, and by the 1990s, he claimed to be investigating up to 250 occult-related cases a year.
That is wild.
In South Africa.
Why don't we know about all this stuff?
Apartheid. Are you kidding me? Either that man did not know what Satanism truly was, or he was just thinking, oh my goodness, they are drinking milk. People who drink milk, there must be something wrong. They are Satanists. I don't know. But we are not here. I don't know. A lot of people are like, you enjoy milk?
I've never heard of that.
There's a stigma against people enjoying milk.
I used to love drinking milk as a kid.
Oh, I still love drinking milk.
Milk is fabulous.
Milk is amazing.
So I've never heard about that stigma. I was like, did I miss something? What do you mean?
No, there's actually a legitimate stigma. But we digress. He claimed to have broken up multiple satanic rings in the Eastern Cape. And this is the detail that made it a bit ridiculous for me. Being a Christian was a job requirement for the unit.
That's wild.
So it was like, listen, you want to join this occult unit? You have to be a Christian, my guy.
It's like, you can't know stuff about cults. I mean, we don't want your detective skills. We don't want your your ability to solve cases.
Yeah. If you're not a Christian, your religion or your lack thereof is going to disturb the case.
I mean, that just shows you how much South Africa was
very single-minded and like kind of guarded. The official reasoning was that Satanism's main enemy is Jesus Christ. So obviously you needed believers on the staff, a police unit in a constitutional state with a faith test.
Okay, for me personally, with their own logic, I would probably want to hire Satanists to find Satanists.
Right?
Using their own logic.
Get into the mind of the quote-unquote
as
enemy.
I said, look, I know this is completely bogus, whatever they go on about. Like, this whole thing is kind of laughable. But I'm just saying, by using their own logic, Jesus is Satan's worst enemy.
Yeah.
So they, like, doesn't make sense.
Okay, but
you would want to hire someone who knows the way other people think.
Exactly.
Or like their people.
That's why you have a criminal profiler.
Yeah.
That's why people spend literally
This is
decades.
ridiculous. I love how we're trying to reason this out, but it's just insane.
You can't. And we are Christians. And I'm just like, this is so dumb. This is dumb.
Investigate people who do bad stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I want to.
I've got so much to say.
I don't have the words.
Moving on.
So now I want to be fair to the record here. There were real crimes with occult trappings in South Africa. Muti murders are real, and they are still a thing. And they were genuinely disturbed people who dressed their violence in satanic imagery. But the skeptics' criticism, then and now, is that the unit spent enormous energy on teenagers with black nail polish and heavy metal records, then most of its satanic network cases evaporated on inspection. And that lent official police credibility to a moral panic.
You stop looking at children who are slightly weird. Like, just because you like that kind of stuff doesn't mean you're going to be murdering people or being in cults.
Doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Like, I like that kind of stuff.
I love black nail polish. I love weird stuff. I would love to live in a haunted mansion.
Heavy metal.
I love heavy metal. That's my that's my Spotify playlist. I wear black nail polish.
Many Spotify playlists, but that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, that's like all. I have very different Spotify playlists, but most of it is just liked songs. I'm one of those. And then it's just like, it's so many metal music.
One thing I am really grateful for living in this time, as much as everything's falling apart, is that people are more accepting of people who prefer.
That's a little weird.
Or like the weird things or like the darker things. It doesn't. It's okay to like the darker side of things.
It's fine. That just means you have
stuff,
kind of stuff. Like you have a better appreciation of the nice and good stuff.
I want to say that I trust people more who are like that.
Kind of. See, Jess can actually not quote me on this. You can attest to the fact that I genuinely mostly wear black clothing. If I could be a goth woman, I would be a goth woman. But at the same time, I love pink.
You say as you're sitting here in dungarees.
I'm currently sitting here wearing
but you kind of look kind of badass. I'm not even going to lie.
Colourful dungaree.
Like if someone saw you like that in the 80s, they would have been like,
Yeah, because there's snakes on it, and there's like tigers, and there's like a heart with an eye and a crown, and
I think you look fabulous. But you know what I mean? Like people would have probably looked at you and be like, cult boy? Like, Satan?
Send it to an asylum maybe? So, yeah. No,
that's one thing I am grateful for.
That is what I'm genuinely grateful for. So, yeah, as much as you would like to look at the goth kid and be like, ugh, there's something wrong with them. No, there isn't.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
They're probably just very interesting people.
Yeah. And sometimes they are so quiet and they keep to themselves. So don't be so judgmental. And also, heck yeah, goth kids. We hear you and we see you.
Yes.
Hell
what
yeah.
you do.
Right. So let's continue. Jonker himself left the unit after a heart attack in 2000. And the unit faded, but it never entirely died. Around 2012, reports surfaced that occult crimes policing was being revived, partly in response to cases like the 2011 killing of the Johannesburg teenager Kirsty Theologo, who was set alight by teenagers in what the media called an occult ritual.
You see,
that's not a freaking ritual. That's just you have no moral standing if you set someone on fire.
Yeah, but also that makes sense. I want to say what makes sense to me is that we have a increase in investigations for occult crimes. Yeah. That makes sense to me. Not into Satan, into occult crimes. That makes sense.
Where it could be part of something greater, but not specifically being caused by the devil himself.
Yeah.
And if some of this is sounding a little familiar, long-time listeners will remember our Missing 6 episodes, where Gert van Rooyen's own son claimed the missing girls had died in satanic rituals.
Also, you say long time, like it wasn't like 3 episodes ago.
See, long-time listeners. Anyone who sticks around longer than 2 is a long-time listener.
We love you.
So, claims that were never substantiated. That's not a coincidence. That's the same panic doing what panics do, offering the devil as an answer whenever the real answer is missing or unbearable.
You know, sometimes you just get messed up people who do messed up things.
Exactly. It doesn't mean it was an occult killing.
It doesn't mean that Satan supposedly made them do it.
Exactly. So by the 2000s, South Africa, and especially conservative Afrikaans church-going South Africa, had marinated for a generation in the idea that Satanists were real, organized, hierarchical, and hunting for souls, that they were covens and generational witches, and children bred for the Church of Satan. None of it evidenced, all of it believed. Which means that when a woman walked into a West Rand ministry claiming to be a high-ranking witch on the run from the Satanic Church, nobody laughed. Nobody asked for proof. They asked how they could help.
Like, oh, hi, I'm a witch from the Satanic Church. I mean, I'm not saying you don't get witches from the Satanic churches, but yeah, I'm saying it's just absurd that they were just like,
I mean, honestly,
this is who I am.
Let's be honest. You get witches.
Help me.
But they're not like hubble bubble toil and trouble witches. They some of them call themselves witches. Some of them prefer to be called pagans. They just do things naturally with herbs and crystals. And some you get white witches and you get dark witches, which is like, what are you focusing on? You're focusing on good magic or bad magic. You get stuff like that. You also have the Satanic Church. But there's a difference. There's 2 satanic churches currently in America. One that is like full-on Satanism, like Aleister Crowley kind of vibes, and the one that's just like, we just want everyone to be happy in life and have people have human rights. So it's like 2 juxtapositions. And has it infiltrated South Africa? We don't know. And honestly, right now, I don't care because I don't hear anything of occult stuff in South Africa. So
yeah, well, that's because they're hiding away from you.
They're hiding, they're plotting. Anyway, we're joking.
How do we join? I'm joking.
Like, anyone, contact us.
Please don't. Please don't. Oh, talking about that, sorry, I have to tell you, this is hilarious. No, don't record. It's funny.
Okay, I'm recording. It's
don't
still recording.
Just block me out.
No, I don't know if you want this on the record.
Okay, so we both go to the same tattoo artist, or we've both been.
Yes.
Anyway, her name is Illuminated by Artistry.
Yes. And shout out to Lemise. She's Illuminated by Artistry.
Her fine lines are fabulous. Oh. But I was talking to her and she was telling me that every now and then she gets a person messaging her asking if they can join the Illuminati. I'm like, what the hell?
Just because she has illuminated.
Yeah.
People get up to the craziest stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, that just shows you that it is still a thing in South Africa. But
it is a thing, but also I think the people who are like, hey, can I join the Illuminati?
Genuinely curious.
They are just like curious and be like, haha, let's see if this is real. Whereas I think a lot of other people that's like, oh no, it's real.
Oh yeah.
But there's specific initiations and stuff that you need to be careful.
I don't want to talk about it because I don't know anything about it. But I think it was just funny that they mistook that for the Illuminati.
They literally contact her for this stuff, and it's
cults.
So funny. So let's talk about the woman who escaped hell, or so she says. Around 2008, 2007, in Krugersdorp, word starts to spread in charismatic Christian circles about a woman who needs help. Serious help. Spiritual warfare help. Her name is Cecilia Stay. She's in her late 20s, and on paper, her life is almost aggressively ordinary. She's a wife, married to a policeman, of all things, and a mother of 2. But the story she tells about herself is anything but ordinary. Cecilia says she is a witch, not a hobbyist. Widely reported from the case, she claimed to be a 42nd generation witch, as in 42 generations of her bloodline pledged to the devil. Some older sources say that she was a 6th generational witch, but we will stick to the most reported figure. She claimed her mother was a witch who was sacrificed by the satanic church, leaving baby Cecilia to be raised inside of it. She claimed she had risen high within the organization. In testimony and accounts that came out around the trial years later, the claims got even wilder. She claimed that she had a marriage contract with the devil himself. The investigating officer would later joke grimly that she'd somehow gotten the devil's signature on paper. She claimed that her father could astral project to attack her, that demons assaulted her at night, and that she had, at one point, astral traveled to the moon.
I mean, I know astral traveling is a thing.
Like astral projection.
But like, to the moon?
To the moon! Don't know why I'm saying
You're
it
going
that
to steal the moon! It's from Despicable Me.
But that's just downright
That's
weird.
A lot of claims, and I'm very interested to know like what actually is the truth and what actually happened in her life to make her like either way. She has been through actual satanic stuff, which is, it sounds like she got put through a lot. Her mother was killed and everything, which is,
or so she claims.
Yeah, either that's the case and it's a heartbreaking story, or she's crazy and that's also a heartbreaking story because this is what she believes.
Oh, this goes, girl. Hold on to your butt. So now you are hearing this in 2026 and you are laughing. And you should be. I mean, we are. But do you see why? Like, why I made you sit through the satanic panic history first? Because in the world Cecilia was operating in, this CV that she presented was not a red flag. It was a prize. Deliverance ministries, churches specializing in freeing people from demonic bondage, had been raised on this exact mythology. A repentant 42nd generation witch fleeing the church of Satan wasn't a fantasist, to be gently referred to a psychologist.
Maybe she should have been.
She should have been. She was the biggest fish any spiritual warrior could have ever hoped to land. She was proof that everything they believed was true. And Cecilia, whatever else she was, understood her audience perfectly.
It sounds like a con artist to me.
She performed. When people prayed over her, she would manifest. Wounds and scratches would appear on her body. She was, quote, losing a lot of blood, and the faithful around her held what they would call high days and high nights, round-the-clock prayer vigils to keep her alive as the satanic church supposedly tried to reclaim or destroy its runaway.
This is so weird.
She was always in crisis, always under attack, always needing more prayer, more attention, more money, more of everyone's life.
It immediately flagged to me when you said more money.
The court would later hear all of this. The high nights, the sacrifices for protection, the manifestations from the very people who had once knelt around her. The judge who eventually presided over this whole saga, Judge Elam Jacob Francis, needed exactly 3 words for her: pathological liar and manipulator.
Con artist.
But the most vivid one, the one the Afrikaans press ran with, came from his summing up Cecilia Steyn was the poppenmeester, the puppet master. In part 2, we'll dig properly into the psychology.
Why do you keep saying in part 2? Tell me now.
There's so much going on right now. We'll get to it. Be patient. Because there is genuinely interesting expert work on her. For now, just know this. Over the next few years, this woman will convince a group of otherwise unremarkable, deeply religious people to hand her their money, their families, and eventually other people's lives. And she will never once wield a weapon herself.
This is wild. Blowing my mind.
11 people will die. And the woman at the center of it will never physically touch one of them.
That's wild. I keep on saying that, but this is genuinely wild. I'm
wild.
Like, what is going on?
So, let's start at the beginning. The person who took Cecilia on as a mission is a woman named Ria Groenewald. Ria ran a ministry on the West Rand called Overcomers Through Christ, OTC for short. They did deliverance work, prayer, counseling, freeing people from whatever the ministry understood as demonic oppression. Ria was a single mother, a true believer, and by every account, someone whose whole heart went into saving Cecilia Stein's soul. When Cecilia arrived with her story, Ria didn't just believe her. She organized her entire ministry around her. The prayer vigils, the protection, the constant crisis management of Cecilia's spiritual emergencies. OTC became, in large part, the Cecilia show. And OTC is where our cast assembles. I want you to meet 3 people, because you already know how this ends for one of them. Marinda Steyn, a school teacher in her 40s. Also, let me quell the question before it's even asked. She had no relation to Cecilia. Steyn is just a very common Afrikaans surname. Marinda was a single mother of 2 teenagers, Leroux and Marcel, living in Horizon, Roodepoort. Her colleagues knew her as a strict but dedicated mother.
As all Afrikaans parents are.
Very much so. Her path crossed Cecilia's around 2008 through Ria, and something in Marinda locked onto Cecilia and never let go. Of everyone in this story, she becomes the most devoted, frighteningly devoted. Zach Valentine, an insurance broker. Quiet, reserved, academically bright. A maths distinction in matric.
Ooh.
He was earning around 70,000 Rand a month, approximately $4,255 US. And that was in 2010's
What? This
money.
is now? I mean, not now, but now.
This was recent. But
you said it was in the 80s.
No, that's when the unit was established. The occult unit.
I misunderstood. And
Girl,
I'm shook.
Now. This is recent.
I'm like, what do you mean 2010? I was like, oh, in the 1980s, 70,000 Rand is a lot. I mean, still 2010, it's a lot.
It's so much.
I'm like, what do you mean?
What do you mean? So he had a comfortable life ahead of him. A social worker's report later described him as overprotected growing up. He met a travel agent named Michaela, and they married after knowing each other for only 5 months. I mean, that's not unheard of.
I mean, my parents got married 6 months after meeting each other, I think.
See? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And you just know.
Yeah.
Lastly, Michaela Valentine, 25 years old, a travel agent. By the accounts that survive her, a warm young woman who followed her husband into the group, and who was the first of them to see clearly for what it was. The Valentines and Marinda all joined OTC's orbit, all drawn into the great spiritual battle for Cecilia's soul. Marinda's children got pulled along. Leroux and Marcel grew up effectively inside this thing. Church, prayer meetings, and Auntie Cecilia's endless war with the devil. But as these things go, the queen fell out with the kingmaker.
This is so bizarre that they put together almost a unit,
like a prayer group,
to deal with one person.
It gets so much weirder.
And then, like, imagine being exposed to that as a child.
Yes, I mean, being 14 years old, like 12 years old, and being like, listen, this is Auntie Cecilia now. You're going to call her Auntie Cecilia. We are going to pray for her soul.
Because she is possessed.
Because she came from the church.
It sounds like it probably was traumatic because it said that she somehow got like scratches and stuff and she bled. And I'm like, I don't know how that happened, but I'm just like, that sounds like a child should not be exposed to that.
They should not be witnessing that at all.
I don't know. This is sus.
It's very sus, but it gets weirder. Oh my goodness, you have no idea. So around 2011, 2012, the relationship between Cecilia and Ria Groenewald went so sour, it curdled.
But why?
The court record and the reporting describe it a few ways. Ria trying to shift her ministry's focus away from the endless deliverance drama. Ria beginning to see through the stories. Ria simply trying to step back. Whatever the exact trigger, the effect on Cecilia was catastrophic. Because if you are the center of the universe, someone turning their back and walking away isn't a disagreement. It's treason. A 2024 academic psychobiography of Cecilia, the study of her as a narcissistic female serial killer, which we'll come back to in part 2, sorry Jess, frames this moment as the ignition point. Rejection by Ria, experienced as intolerable shame, converted into what the literature calls narcissistic rage. In Cecilia's rewriting of reality, Ria stopped being her savior and became her persecutor. And in her mind, persecutors must be punished.
I mean, that she's being called a narcissist shows you a lot about just what she was, and also
definitely.
It makes them think that they can't be caught, that everyone's too dumb to figure out what they're doing.
Like they're untouchable.
Yeah, and just realizing that you aren't the center of someone's universe anymore. I'm sure that
would be very triggering.
Like for a narcissist, it's like, oh wait, you don't like I'm not your everything.
I'm not your everything. This hurts me inside. I have to do something about it.
I don't even know if it hurts them. I think
it irks them.
Yeah,
it's like what do you annoys them. It makes them angry.
Yeah.
Well, we're not narcissists, so we wouldn't know. So Cecilia pulled her inner circle out of OTC, the Valentines, Mirinda, and the teenagers. And in July 2012, they formed something new, the ministry of their own making. They gave it a Latin name and, in a detail that makes so much sense, they got matching tattoos of its emblem. Electus per Deus, chosen by God.
You see, if you have a religious group and they ask you to get a tattoo, that's a cult.
Thank you. That's a cult. Thank you.
It's like if someone says, we're not a cult, they're a cult.
They're a cult. Like, honestly, if someone has to literally say it's not a cult, then
it's a cult.
The flag should go off in your head.
Yeah.
So 7 years later, at sentencing, Judge Francis would look at what the people wearing the tattoo had done and remarked that they should perhaps have called themselves elected by Lucifer instead.
Eesh.
When the judge is doing the dark humor for you, you know the case is bad.
I like a spicy judge, though.
We love a spicy judge.
I love it when they tell off the
like the people that just did all the wrong. They're like, you were an idiot.
Yeah, like you're a piece of trash.
Yeah, like get out.
And you deserve to just rot in jail forever. Like the way they just tell them off perfectly. It's like if I was a judge.
Yeah, that would be the perfect justice.
Just being able to say that.
Yeah, just being like, listen, you suck. Just go.
Yeah, like
I'm not going to say anything worse. It's like that's the best thing.
Got a lot of bad words for them, but
yeah. But then again, we don't want to make any enemies. So, Electus per Deus did not start with murder. It started. Oh yeah. Can you believe it? They started very innocently. So it started with what I can only describe as a low-budget terror campaign against a Bible study group. And I want you all to notice as we go how quickly it escalates. Criminologists talk about behavioral escalation like it's a gentle slope. This was a cliff.
Okay, but also they literally have a tattoo that means elected by God, chosen by God.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go and have a terror campaign against a Bible study?
Yeah, so you will come to realize all of this was to get back at Rhea.
So
this was
petty.
Cecilia's plot.
It's like,
to
you
get revenge.
didn't make me your whole life, so I'm just going to destroy your life.
That's exactly what this is.
So,
and it gets so far out of hand.
As much as it's terrible, I'm actually really excited to hear about this because you never really hear about women
serial killers, but women killers.
And it fascinates me because out of all the serial killers and psychopaths, there's such a little percentage that are women.
Mm-hmm.
So the psychology is super interesting to me. It's like, tell me more about what is going on in your head.
Oh, I'm going to tell you exactly.
Thank you. I mean,
you are going to be so pleased at the end of this.
I thought you said I'm going to be frustrated. You told me the other day I'm going to be frustrated.
With part 1. Which you already are because I'm telling you most of the stuff.
Yeah, you literally walk me up to the thingy and then you stop.
And then I pull you right back.
And
it's like you see this giant, shiny new piece of technology like a car. Here's the keys. Dangle, dangle. Okay, but go wait. Go sit there.
That was such a random. You see this new shiny fancy piece of technology. I was like, iPad or something, and like a car. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I had to like make it
weird
sound
metaphors.
Big. Yeah, you know I'm one for weird metaphors. On the 2nd of July, 2012, members of the group planted homemade bombs under cars belonging to people attending an OTC course.
This is literally terrorism.
Mm-hmm. They were nearly spotted, so they panicked and fled before igniting anything.
Good.
Thank goodness. But 9 days later, on the 11th of July, they came back and did it properly, setting off explosives near cars at an OTC meeting.
I'm just glad that it wasn't under the cars. I mean, it's still bad, but it went from under the cars to near the cars. So I'm just glad that it wasn't literally under people's cars. That could have been worse.
So scary. Later that month, they started a fire and smashed windows at the Lighthouse Christian Center in Randburg, a church associated with Rhea's circle. On the gate of the center, they left a note written by Cecilia herself. It read, "Rhea, who is going to protect you now?"
From what? And how was...
From her.
And how was Cecilia protecting her?
She thought the church and your associates at other churches are protecting you, so I am going to go and destroy them all.
This is so petty. The level of pettiness in this woman.
Exactly. Oh, it gets so much worse. So much worse. Through July and August, threatening SMSs, or texts for our international listeners, went out to OTC members and people connected to Rhea. So let's do a quick stock take. Bombs, arson, and a signed threat. In a functioning system, this is where things would have ended, because this was a massive, blinking air raid siren warning weeks before anyone died. The attacks were reported, but unfortunately, nothing meaningful happened. Hold on to that thought and anger, because the police had chances is going to be a recurring theme. I
absolutely hate it when people die or things happen and it's literally because the police didn't do their job properly.
Yes.
Like if you had just arrested the right person or followed up on these reports or just done, what you're actually supposed to do, then people would still be alive.
Even if you held the person for 24 hours.
Yeah.
If you just did the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Something could have happened that would have stopped all of this.
Yep.
But yeah, you're going to get very frustrated.
I'm already frustrated.
I
just want justice.
I'm so sorry. We'll get to part 2 soon enough. But we still have so much left here in the story.
I feel sorry for these listeners because they have to wait for a week.
Oh, they have to wait. You get it right off the bat.
Yeah, because we have to record because my sister's wedding is coming up and a bachelorette and you have things going on.
We have stuff going on.
So we are recording.
Bulk recording. Today's recording day. But let's continue. Natasha Berger was 33 years old. She was an active OTC member and one of Rhea's closest friends, committed enough that she presented one of the ministry's courses herself, a course called Know Thy Enemy, about recognizing the works of the devil. It is a terrifying thought. knowing now that the woman teaching the course on recognizing evil was about to be murdered by the people sitting closest to it, and nobody in the world saw it coming. Let's be clear that that's not a criticism of Natasha. Not at all. That's the whole tragedy of a community trained to look for the devil in upside-down pentagrams and metal music instead of people.
But also, stop looking for the devil. Just look at what people are doing wrong. Stop blaming it on...
Like a force you cannot see.
Yeah, like, you can't convict the devil. You know, you can convict someone who murders someone. Look at the people who are committing the crimes.
Thank you.
Like,
no, tell that to South Africa's Special Occult Satanic Forces Police Squadron or whatever.
An occult
is completely different.
Chasing Satan, not fun.
Yeah. Being like, we're going to arrest the devil. Yeah, bro, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck. South Africans are so weird.
We are very strange. What is? So, Joy Boonzaier, a woman in her 60s, was Natasha's neighbor and friend in Virda Park, Centurion. She wasn't a combatant in Cecilia's imaginary war. She was, as far as the record shows, simply close to Natasha in both proximity and meaning. But that was enough for Cecilia.
So she's targeting everyone around this woman.
Cecilia's pretext, and this tells you everything about how she weaponized the group's own theology, was an accusation that Natasha had prayed a so-called danger prayer that had caused the deaths of young children. First of all, you had no evidence.
But this is reaching so hard.
It is reaching. But think about the mechanics of that lie. She took people terrified of spiritual harm and told them a specific woman's prayers were killing babies. Suddenly, to the group, killing Natasha wasn't murder. It was defense. It was rescue.
The grip that this woman had on everyone. It's crazy. Like, how did she get them to listen to her and actually do what she wanted?
It gets so much worse.
Such a manipulator. And
like they said, she's a puppet master.
It's insane. I mean, I heard that, but
now actually hearing everything, oh, you are going to have that reaction so many times. So on the 26th of July, 2012, Zach and Michaela Valentine went to Joy's flat. They forced Joy to write a note asking Natasha to come over when she got home from work. Natasha came because of course she would when her friend asked her for it. Tragically, the Valentines stabbed both women to death.
Excuse me, what?
2 women murdered in a flat in Centurion on the strength of a story about a prayer. I want to flag something we'll return to. Michaela Valentine was there. Whatever she believed about their little group before walking into an innocent woman's home was forever changed. She now knew exactly what Electus per Deus was. Reginald Bendixson was 75 years old, a semi-retired pastor from Honeydew, a longtime friend of Ria's, and someone she regarded as a mentor. He occasionally gave lectures at OTC. In Cecilia's inverted universe, that made him a pillar of the enemy fortress and the next target in her campaign to strip Ria of everyone who protected her.
This is wild. I'm sorry, I keep on saying this, but I'm like...
That's the only valid reaction to this story.
It's just crazy to me that this woman did nothing wrong except be like, oh, I see through your nonsense. And then he said something else. I see through your nonsense and I'm no longer going to be putting up with it.
Yeah.
And then this woman's like, right, I'm going to kill everyone you know.
I'm going to destroy your life.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous and it gets worse, unfortunately.
You keep on saying that and it keeps on getting worse and you keep on saying that and I just want it to end.
In August 2012, the court record has it around the middle of the month. Zach Valentine and Marinda Stain came to his home, so Reginald Bendixson, disguised as police officers. A 75-year-old man of God opened his door to what he believed was the law. They attacked him with a hand axe and stabbed him.
Oh my gosh.
He did not survive. This was Marinda Stain, the school teacher's first murder. Years later in court, she would plead guilty and describe how it felt. Her words, from her own testimony, it was, quote, exciting, an adrenaline rush.
That is disgusting.
There is no version of this story where that sentence isn't the most bone-chilling thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cecilia manipulated everyone, of course, but the courtroom evidence forces a harder truth. Some of the people she recruited didn't need much persuasion or pushing. Cecilia supplied the permission structure. What Mirinda brought was her own thing.
So it's kind of like these people were already messed up and kind of almost going to be violent by themselves already. But then Rhea just kind of gave them a reason to be, and they're like,
Cecilia,
oh, cool.
not Rhea.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Rhea's the victim. But
I'm just mind blown. I'm like,
it's like
she gave them a reason to do this, and then it's like gave them a direction for their violence, or
she gave them a permission slip, basically. And they were like,
how do you find so many terrible people in one place? And South Africa isn't big. I'm just saying, South Africa is a small place.
So that is the thing. So you'll find out this is the overarching theme of what Cecilia does, is she is framing all of this as the work of God. And that is what these people are thinking. They're thinking they are righteous worshippers of God and they are doing God's work.
Yeah.
So that's how deeply manipulated they were.
But it still sounds like she found some special people.
She found some special people.
And then just directed their violence towards the people she wanted.
Exactly. So these 3 tragic murders brings us back to that Thursday morning and the cup of coffee from our opening.
Please, I was stressed and I'm still stressed.
After the murder of Natasha and Joy, Michaela Valentine wanted out.
Oh, okay. So after your murder...
After she murdered someone and her husband murdered 2 people.
And after calling it an adrenaline rush and...
No. So that was Mirinda.
I'm so confused. These people sound the same.
I know. You need to know.
You need to tell me.
Right. So Mirinda, school teacher, mother with the 2 teenagers.
Okay, yes.
Zach and Michaela Valentine married. Michaela, she grew a conscience.
Okay.
Yes. After the murder of Natasha and Joy, the 2 women, Michaela wanted out and she realized it a little bit too late. And I want to give her that on the record because in this whole grim story, she is one of the only people on the inside whose conscience worked.
It's crazy. You would think that after everything they've done to innocent people, more than one person would be like, hey, what we're doing really isn't right.
I mean, if someone said, listen, we have to go murder that lady, I'd be like, excuse me, what?
I mean, I don't think you'd be in a cult in the beginning, but...
I probably would start one.
Liz, stop incriminating yourself.
Okay, no, that is true. I don't have the personality to start a cult, let's be honest. Michaela Valentine wanted out. She had seen what the group was. She was disillusioned and she was pulling away. But in a cult, especially one strengthened by murder, there is no pulling away. A member with doubts is no longer an ally. They're a liability.
Mm-hmm. But also it's crazy, out of that whole group of people, only one of them was
only one? Maybe this isn't
I'm uncomfortable with this. Like, I don't think we're doing the right thing here.
I don't think murder is the appropriate
Yeah, I don't think
response.
that's the answer.
So Cecilia and Zach Valentine, her own husband, decided Michaela should die.
Her own husband?
Her own husband. We already know how most of this goes. In October 2012, Zach laced his wife's coffee with some kind of tranquilizer, went to work to manufacture his alibi, and left the keys and the gate remote with Mirinda staying. Mirinda came with her daughter, Marcelle, 14 years old, a schoolgirl, and together they beat and stabbed Michaela to death as she lay in her bed. She was 25.
Everyone here is so young. Michaela is only 25. It's my age.
Yeah.
And myself, she's 14. Why is this mother
allowing this in the first? Her mother's a school teacher. But like that also has like a very specific angle that we'll get to. That you're just going to be like, she played everyone. Not only was she played, but she played a lot of people as well.
Ugh, it's such a sad case altogether.
There's
no good outcomes in any sense.
No. Her husband collected the life insurance with the grief of a widower. And a 14-year-old child walked out of that townhouse having been initiated into murder by her own mother. I'm going to say something that the court itself grappled with, so it's worth saying carefully. Marcel Steyn is a perpetrator in the story, and she is also, in a real sense, one of Cecilia Steyn's victims.
Mm-hmm.
She was raised inside this at just 14 years old. There was meant to be a fifth murder in 2012. Cecilia ordered a hit on Joshua Groenewald, Ria's son.
Talking about this, sorry.
Yes.
You said the word hits, and I'm just like, she literally made this cult, and
Mm-hmm.
she turned it into her own personal hit men.
Yes.
That's literally what she did.
She made a cult and she let the members do her bidding.
Like,
yeah, that's manipulation to the most extreme extent. So, Joshua Groenewald, Ria's son. She asked 3 men to do it, but they simply never did, which, fantastic.
great.
And the plot just
Finally,
fizzled,
someone decent.
right? Okay, well, I mean, she still got 3 men to do a hit, and those 3 men were like, yeah, sure. So,
But she said that they didn't.
they didn't, but also you were like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. They didn't go to the police.
They just didn't do it. So they kind of took the money and left.
Yeah.
Probably.
They just left it high and dry and went. Which, it doesn't make them any better people, I would say. So the entire plot fizzled. Ria's family survived Cecilia's war, even when almost nobody else close to her did. And then it just stopped. After October 2012, Electus per Deus went quiet. For 3 years, the group that had bombed, burned, and murdered its way through winter and spring simply receded into suburban invisibility. Church on Sundays, school runs, Marinda taught children, and Zak played the grieving widower.
It's crazy to me how someone who is a teacher can do that. Because, I mean, your mom's a teacher, my mom's a teacher, and they're good people.
They are the best people on earth.
Teachers have the most patience, and I could never.
And then
so
this
it blows
woman,
my mind that someone that is a teacher could do this.
That she was just like, hell yeah, I'll murder for you. Nah, you should get checked out. 4 people were dead. Natasha, Joy, Reginald, and Michaela. Across 2 police jurisdictions with a documented trail of bombs and threats pointing at the same tiny group of people. But no one connected
It's actually like
any
4
of it.
people. Well, 3 now. No?
4. It's 4. It's Natasha.
Yes.
Joy.
No. I'm talking about the people in the cult.
Oh, the people in the cult. So we have Zak.
Mm-hmm. We have his wife. Had his wife. She's
now dead. Marinda.
and her daughter.
Her daughter and her son.
Yeah. So
4 people. Michaela was ejected.
yeah, but what I'm saying is,
There were
it was
5.
such a small group of people. It's literally 5 people who did
Literally
this,
5 people.
and now 4.
And then
and it's crazy that it's such a few.
and that the
amounts of
police
people.
didn't connect
Yeah,
any of the dots.
it's not like a massive organized crime thing. It's
No.
literally 4 people.
It was murders.
Yeah.
There were homicides. There was no task team, no arrests. The file went cold while the killers carpooled to church. That's so infuriating.
And it's so infuriating that there was literally at some point a task force for Satanists, but there wasn't a task force for literal murders for this case.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay.
And it happened in Krugersdorp and in Randburg, and those are 2 separate jurisdictions, like we say, for the police. So, hello.
I mean, hello.
Like, either of you could have noticed something, but no. So, unfortunately, listeners, here is where I'll leave you today. It's late, 2012. Cecilia Steyn has her own a little chosen people bound to her by tattoos, terror, and now shared guilt.
And murder.
And murder. Because that's the other thing about making everyone complicit. Nobody can leave. And Michaela was the proof of what happens if you try.
I mean, how much of a grip do you have to have on people to literally have someone's husband
kill his own
wife, or have his own wife killed, or allow his own wife to be killed?
That's
like, how manipulated and brainwashed can you be
for that to happen? For you to even have that idea cross your mind and then execute it. It's
insane.
It's horrific. But Ria Groenewald is alive, but surrounded by graves.
What?
And the group has discovered something that should send the coldest chill down your spine. They have killed 4 people in Gauteng in the 2010s, and absolutely nothing has happened to them. What breaks the silence 3 years later isn't guilt, it isn't God, it's something far more South African. Money. Cecilia's operation was expensive. Zach's fortune was gone, swallowed by, among other things, an orphanage that does not exist. And the group was about to discover the skill set they'd built murdering for the Lord transferred seamlessly to murdering for cash.
Oh my gosh.
In part 2, we'll dive into the appointment murders, a man who faked his own death and nearly got away with it. The detective they called Bliksem. A trial that gripped a country. A huisgenoot journalist who fell in love with a killer.
Oh man.
And the question underneath all of it. Was there ever really anything satanic about the satanic murders of Krugersdorp? Spoiler alert, the devil, as usual, was just a woman with a good story.
Wow. Also, are you going to tell us more about this orphanage that doesn't exist?
Yeah, of course. In part 2.
You just dropped that title. I'm like, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. I keep giving cliffhangers.
And also, from where I'm standing right now, I don't think there was anything satanic about.
There's nothing satanic about this.
I think she just used religion as a way to manipulate people, but I don't think there was anything satanic about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just in satanic
and it becomes incredibly clear in part 2.
And yeah, I think it was just people also being scared, satanic panic stuff.
Yeah.
But
that's why I had to go into the history of satanic panic, because this is such a good example of it.
Yeah.
But we will end today where we always do, with the victims. Natasha Berger, 33, a woman of real faith who taught others how to recognize evil and was murdered by it. Lured to her death by a note from a friend, because she would never have ignored a friend who needed her. Joy Boonzayer, in her 60s, killed for the crime of being close to Natasha, forced in her last hour to write the note that brought her friend to the door.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do. But this poor woman, Joy, she lived her whole life. She's been through so much, probably. You know, no one goes through life unscathed. And then this absolute piece of trash goes and murders her. Like, what the hell?
She literally did nothing
wrong. I don't even know.
She probably lived the best life. She probably had, like, her family, like a husband or kids or just family, sisters, brothers. Yeah. We don't know, but all of those people, they just lost a family member just like that. And she had no involvement in this whatsoever. She was just another little person in Cecilia's way. And it makes it so horrifying and chilling and just anger-inducing.
And it's like these people like this actually exist. And not just...
That's the worst part.
Not just in the stories, not just in America. In South Africa, people like this exist.
Today, there's probably one person now manipulating people.
Not even that. I just mean like a narcissistic serial killer.
That's the thing.
And a woman at that. Like in South Africa. What?
It's you don't want to think about it, actually.
So tell me about the other people.
Reginald Ben Dixon, 75. A pastor who spent his life opening his door to people and open it one last time to 2 killers dressed as the police. And Michaela Valentine, 25. A travel agent, a young wife, the one member of Electus per Deus who looked at what it was and said no, and paid for her conscience with her life, betrayed by the person who had promised before God to protect her. 4 people. And in 2012, not a single headline connected their names. We say them today because for 3 years, nobody did.
Oh my gosh, 3 years.
3 years. Thank you so much for listening to H That's Dark. Part 2 is coming, and I promise you the story somehow gets even stranger.
It always does. But as always, you can find us at H That's Dark on Instagram and TikTok. You can see pictures. You can see more information on the story. You can, if you want to see for some reason the messed up faces of the messed up people who did this, then Morbid curiosity is a thing.
That is a thing. And also I will say there's a photo where Cecilia and Zach and like where most of them all wear white contacts or like bright blue contacts and take a photo. That photo is so evil. I cannot even put it into words. When I saw that photo, I was like, get it off my screen.
You know what also is disconcerting? When someone looks...
When they look the part.
No, when they look innocent, bro.
Oh.
Like, if it's like an old woman who is a killer and then she just looks like an old woman that you would trust.
Like a little granny.
And then she's literally like a black widow. And I'm like, that's terrifying because it could be anyone. It could be the person sitting next to you right now. Anyway, on that morbid note, if you want to send us any of your stories.
We're the only two people in this house.
So you think? No, I'm joking.
Quinn, protect me.
What are you doing in my house? I want waffle fries.
Sorry.
Please send us your stories to h@stark@gmail.com. It could be suggestions. It could be anything you've been through, anything you've experienced, anything that your friend or family member have experienced.
It could be a complaint.
No.
It can be concerns for my well-being. Since Jess just brought up a really weird point.
I don't know. You're a stranger. I just met you one day at work.
At work, yes. I was...
Oh, yeah. You did a criminal check, so you're fine.
I did criminal checks on us.
But I'm just saying, like, how well do you really know people?
That is the thing. How well?
I mean, I trust you, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I trust you
weird.
with my life.
It's just a weird thought. If you think about it too much, you kind of go in a spiral. So don't do that.
Yeah, let's not go.
Anyway,
don't doubt the people
as we were saying,
but also
South Africa is a weird place, and almost every single person I know has some kind of story about being broken into, someone they know that got held up, that got hijacked, anything like that. So I know there's a lot of stories, and I want to tell them. We want to tell them.
We want to tell your stories.
To also bring awareness of, please be careful in South Africa.
Yeah.
And that's why we say stay safe and stay skeptical.
And maybe don't hand over your savings, your Sundays, and your teenage children to a woman whose references include a marriage certificate co-signed to Satan.
That's great advice. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.